On this episode of Cuesta Dos, my brother David and I pack a full-fledged show in while doing it on video for the first time. We talk about Antonio Brown's consistent issues, some big-time injuries to big-time players in the NFL, Gardner Minshew and his rise as a NFL All-Bro, Daniel Jones and his start for Eli Manning and the Giants, Jamal Adams Fine on a roughing the passer that me and my brother disagree with, Calvin Johnson's tell-all article about concussions and smoking weed, NBA's tampering rules and how they're getting stricter, Team USA's FIBA #1 status and if they deserve it, and we finish off with New York State passing a new law that will affect if NCAA players are paid for their sport. And without any further ado, enjoy the show, everyone. What's going on, sports fans? Welcome to Cuesta Dos. For all you YouTube people that watch out there, we are recording a video today, which is rare. We don't normally do this. We're going to try and do something new because maybe if you see our ugly mugs, you'll never want to watch this again.
Well, you can see him. My video's grainy.
Your video's a little grainy. We're going to fix that eventually. But again, I'm Alex Cuesta. That is my brother, David Cuesta, over there on the other side. Say what's up, David, for the people that listen.
What's up, David?
But we have a super full show today. Super full show. We're going to try and get through a whole bunch. It's very football heavy with a little bit of other stuff thrown in. But we are going to try and get through a whole bunch in as little time as we can so we don't bore the hell out of everybody.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So first and foremost, we got to start off the show with our show's mascot because I don't think he's ever going to leave. Antonio Brown.
I can't wait.
Leading the charge again because let me look right here. Let's just go to his timeline over this past week. Now it's ridiculous.
I have it open.
We have a ridiculous timeline for this guy weekly. Like he fills seasons worth of stuff into a week.
He filled career worth of stuff into a week.
It's amazing. So first and foremost, we're going to start. It was a bombshell. He had sexual allegations placed against him by his trainers. We talked about those last week. We talked about how they're serious and they need to get figured out. Then another woman piles on.
Yep.
But on top of that, it comes out that he's not going to get charged for just these sexual assault allegations. I don't know if they ruled on the rape ones, but the charges aren't going to happen for sexual assault. But throughout all this, the Patriots picked him up. Throughout all of this, the Patriots get this pub. He does an interview, which is very Patriot-like, where he's just talking about football and this and that, and it was very tame, and you're like, oh, maybe they got to him.
Mm-hmm.
Very next day, Patriots are like, don't care. You're guy. They cut Antonio Brown. He's out. So now Antonio Brown is just floating in the ether somewhere. And yesterday it comes out, teams are interested in him. They want to know about the legal side. So, of course, teams are going to be interested in this type of talent. Today, right before we start recording this, it is a Sunday. It's a football Sunday. He tweets, I'm done playing in the NFL.
Yep.
Owners can cut people. I'm out about $40 million right now. Yep. Unfair. And then, Dave, you just told me he goes on a Twitter.
Okay, so after that, after saying he's not playing in the NFL anymore, he, not even 3 minutes later, said, I'll read the tweet directly. Kraft got caught in the parlor. AB speculations fired. Different strokes, different folks, clearly. With a picture. I don't know if it's him with the woman that accused him. I have no idea, but it's a picture of him, like, high-fiving a woman. After that, like another 10 minutes later, Shannon Sharp, the funny guy on TV, still after this, because Shannon Sharp's been saying a lot about AB lately. Then after that, 3 minutes again, 4 games for Big Ben. Crazy world I'm done with about the sexual assault of Big Ben. Then the Daily Beast put out something saying Patriots fan threatened the Sports Illustrated writer who revealed a second sexual harassment claim that led to the ousting of AB. Then he said system working effectively. The man he could probably still be going. He might put more tweets out. He never leaves. He never leaves the media.
You got to give us the update as the show goes on. If he puts we will just stop the show and you will let him tell us what he says.
I'm going to keep looking. This is out of this world. I did not expect this.
The main question, what are the chances that Antonio Brown is actually done playing in the NFL?
I don't know, man. All of this, like, if you're going to come out, he already, like, said something about Big Ben, like, when the first thing was happening. But that going against Big Ben just like that, going against Kraft just like that, you don't go after owners and still want to play in the NFL. I don't think he can.
Now, I feel like a team like the Buccaneers, I've been saying it for a while. A lot of teams, people are talking about what's a good fit for him. It has nothing to do with the fit. It has something to do with teams that are desperate and are going to take him.
Yeah.
And I feel like the Buccaneers are that dumpster fire team. They're like, maybe Jameis will only throw 2 interceptions instead of 3 if we had Antonio Brown.
But, I mean, they already have Mike Evans.
You can never have – Mike Evans, too. He's like a quiet guy. They're going to ruin Mike Evans if they bring him up.
Mike Evans is a nice guy.
I could see the Bucs doing that because what do the Bucs have to lose? They could finally get some publicity. Instead of Jameis stealing crab legs.
I don't know if you want that publicity. I don't know, especially after all this. Now, maybe if he just said, "Oh, I don't want to play in the NFL anymore," like maybe then still. But after all this,
so after he threatened to retire during this whole entire saga. At one point, he did threaten to retire. He said he doesn't need football. Mm-hmm. Is there a chance he goes and plays in the XFL?
That would be fantastic. I would love every second of it. He would be the next He Hate Me. It'd be great. It'd be great. Vince, this is what Vince would want.
Now, would an XFL, a dream for the XFL would be for me to have Kaepernick go there, Manziel go there, and then Antonio Brown jumps in, and maybe even let's just get a Justin Blackmon sighting. Maybe if he's not in jail, we can get Justin Blackmon.
I think Justin Blackmon's still on the Jags, I think.
How? He's
still rostered, I'm pretty sure. I think I saw something saying that a while ago. But it was like this season. I might have to look that up, but I'm pretty sure he's still rostered.
All right, I got to say this. I have not been the biggest Cap supporter. I could take it or leave it whether or not he plays. He's been out of the league for 2 years, so I believe that he will struggle if he comes back. Mm-hmm. Justin Blackmon's been out of the league for like 5 years.
Yeah, I know.
If you bring him back, I get it's a different position. Receivers have different responsibilities. You could stay in a little better shape. But if you bring him back into football before Colin Kaepernick has more of a legitimate gripe than he ever had before. If that happens.
Well, I think the biggest problem is it seems like Cap only wants to start. And no one really wants to start him because no one wants him to be like – no one believes he's going to be a long-term QB. That seems like the reason.
With that. And you know what's funny? We were talking to I was talking to our mother, Adele, about this quite literally yesterday.
Yeah.
And she was saying something about Cap, and he's definitely better than a lot of these backups. And I said to him, like,
he would be a great backup QB.
But the public pressure to start him would be immense. And I don't think any franchise wants to deal with that, especially like you said. He's probably not a long-term guy. He's not as young as he once was. He's not old, but he's not as young as he once was. You don't know what you're getting out of a guy who just hasn't played football in 2 years.
Exactly.
He's just not worth the PR. His talent level does not trump the PR, where we have the polar opposite here with Antonio Brown, where his talent level on the field actually does trump the PR. If he could sit there and do what he did for the Patriots in one game, he was an X factor in one game.
Okay, yeah, he was an X factor in one game, no doubt. I don't want to diminish his talent, but it was also against the Dolphins.
Dolphins are one of 2 teams with our Jets who have 20-plus point spreads this week. Do both teams cover? Do the Cowboys cover the Dolphins and the Pats cover the Jets this week? I think the Pats are 22 plus 20 minus 22, and the Cowboys are minus 22.5.
Yeah. I want to say that the Pats don't cover, mainly because, Jets fan. But I can see both of them happening. I can 100% see both of them happening.
So riding to Home Depot this morning, I got a fun fact from the fan. The Patriots, the last 3 times the Jets have played in Foxborough, the Patriots beat them by 35, 20, and 31. That's not points scored. That is beat them by. And the Jets have not scored a touchdown in the last 3 trips to Foxborough. So again, are the Patriots going to cover today?
Nah, Luke Falk, 500 yards, 6 touchdowns. That's my prediction.
In 7 games?
No, in this game. In just one game. In just this game.
Now, okay, we talked about Luke Falk. Luke Falk is only playing because our starting quarterback for the Jets, Sam Darnold, is out because he likes kissing hookers. And that's what I'm going with. I don't care. Sam looks like a wholesome boy. It's always the wholesome, quiet ones you got to watch out for. So we're going to talk about some big NFL injuries, 2 massive NFL injuries that have quite literally changed the landscape of football. And it's very rare that players can change the landscape. Mm-hmm. This has. First, Big Ben is out for the season with his knee. I think it's his knee that he hurt, or it's a leg
It's,
injury.
it's elbow.
Oh, wow. Where was I getting my information from?
I don't know. I don't know where you got. Were you even watching the game?
I was drunk. But Big Ben out for the season. In comes Mason Rudolph. Personal Foul podcast host Colton Gesser is crying in the corner while going, Mason's going to do it. I swear. He's doing that somewhere. But that's massive because the Steelers, they're the one team that everyone thinks. The Browns, we don't know what we're going to get. We've seen shaky stuff. They can be good. They should have beaten the Jets by 50 because Baker Mayfield missed a whole bunch of throws.
Yeah.
And then you have Lamar over in Baltimore just being a monster. Unexpected, being great. They have an awesome matchup today against the Chiefs, and that's going to be fun to see those two, Mahomes and Lamar Jackson, go at it. This injury there is changing the landscape. And then you also have Drew Brees, who's not going to be out the season, but he broke his hand.
Yeah.
Giving a high five to one of the
to Aaron Donald. To Aaron Donald.
Give him a high five on the end of a pass, which we've seen quarterbacks do before, but Aaron Donald's hands must be made of diamonds because it automatically broke his hand.
Yeah, that was
like 6 weeks. This is changing the landscape of everything. First, the Steelers are they going to pack it in this year if Mason doesn't show out? And then with the Saints, they have a combination of Taysom Hill, who's a utility knife, and Teddy Bridgewater, who they brought in for this reason, just in case. Who is better? Who's worse off?
Saints are better off, mainly because Teddy's not a bad QB, and Taysom is he's a Swiss Army knife. And Sean Payton, great offensive mind. We've seen it time and time again, and they want to do a QB by committee type of thing. In fact, I don't even think they named a starter. I think Teddy's starting, but I don't even think they named how much he's going to play. So we're probably going to see a lot of switching, a lot of different things out of the Saints today, and they may just win the game off of no film. Like there's no film on what they're going to do. So they may just win the game off that unless it implodes. The Steelers are going to have a tough time with Mason, but at least Mason has had time under Big Ben. He can come out and play in the system. I mean, he showed he wasn't bad when he stepped in. So he showed he can play a little bit. It's going to be tough, your first NFL start, and it's against it's going to be tough, man, for him.
Is Big Ben going to retire this year?
I want to say no. I want to say no because he doesn't want to go out this way. Mainly because he doesn't want to go out. And he wasn't even hit. I don't know what happened. I didn't follow up, so I don't know if anything happened in practice. But I know for a fact that he was not hit. He threw the ball, then he was shaking his elbow and holding it multiple times, and then he came out. Like, no one wants to leave that way.
I'm not a big fan of Big Ben, so I got to make a plea for him to retire because just think of all the nightclub bathrooms you can enter now with women against.
Wait, no. If he's playing football, you can be in the nightclub. If he's out of football, you can't be in it. He's going to be nearer them. He has more time.
No, he'll be retired, and then he can go to the nightclubs and hang out and be Big Ben and just pull unwilling women into the bathroom at will and get away with it.
He can do that when retired, too.
That's what I'm saying. He needs to retire. He can do that. He could do that every day instead of just every once in a while. But all joking aside, these are two great guys that I don't want to see go out. Drew Brees is going to come back, but I don't know what his status is going to be because if Teddy and Taysom Hill can't hold down the fort, their playoff chances are gone. Yeah,
which is very unfortunate because I felt like the Saints were number one or number two in your pick in the NFC, depending on who you liked better. But they were definitely one of the teams that were going to the Super Bowl for the NFC.
Yeah, 100%. And they were trying to not get robbed 2 years in a row and try and redeem themselves. Well, not even redeem themselves. The refs are going to have to redeem themselves in the NFC Championship. It's interesting right now. The landscape has changed, and we could be seeing the end of two legends while Tom Brady is now 73 and still going to throw for 50.
Yeah, exactly. But, I mean, as we're talking about legends, we have to bring up one of the newest legends. No, not Patty Mahomes, but someone even bigger than Patty Mahomes, Gardner Minshew II. He is taking the NFL by storm because he came in and played well for Nick Foles against the Chiefs. And what he wears. He just showed up to the college game last night. What was it, WSU? And with the Cougs shirt on, jorts. Apparently, he cut his own jorts. The man's insane. I love everything about him. He got an offer from a porn company. I'm not sure what porn company.
That mustache, yes.
Oh, well, yeah, but he got an offer to just live stream himself stretching in like just his jock strap or naked. And he has to do it like once every week or something like that. And they'll pay him like more than his NFL contract. And then he can't do it, but I would love that'd be amazing. Imagine the money he could make just from that.
Be honest, would you watch it?
I mean, maybe sometimes when I have time, yes.
This just got fun and awkward. Now, here's the predicament. The predicament isn't with anybody else besides the people at Barstool, specifically the other podcast that I love to listen to besides our own, Pardon My Take. This is now the second Jaguars quarterback
that they have immortalized.
He's fantastic. Blake Bortles is the man. He still is the man, even though he's not throwing the football really anymore.
Yeah, he's got to be in the next Rough and Rowdy. Got to be in the next Rough and Rowdy.
What do? They now have this other fantastic unicorn sitting there in Jacksonville and actually playing good football for at least 1 week. I'm not going to go too high on him because it was 1 week of good play. But, man, he looked good in the rain.
He looked pretty good. Doug Marrone is letting the kid throw. He's giving him clear options as well. Like, he's giving him easy plays. Like that touchdown to O'Shaughnessy, easy. You get everyone to bite, just dump it right over their head. It's an easy thing. You get him in rhythm. You get him excited. You get him feeling confident. And then he's able to make throws like the one to Dede or the one to Chark. Like, you see it.
We got to talk about Dede and Chark. We really do, because we got to get them from little giants to stick them that little guy put on his gloves that he got caught on his shirt. It was like, quick.
Yeah.
We got to get him for both of those, because he would have had at least one more touchdown, which was wide open to Dede, that Dede drops.
Yeah.
And they dropped, I think, they have like 6 or 7 drops. I think that's more than like the Patriots have had in the last 7 years.
Yeah.
You can't be dropping footballs like that, and especially when that defense is still sound. With Jalen Ramsey, who played through a trade request, and now the owner has come out and said, I want to extend this guy. I don't want to trade him.
I would want to too. He's one of the best corners in the NFL. You don't want to.
The best rated corner. He's been the best rated corner against number 1 since Darrell Revis.
Yeah, and I mean he's getting the praise from DeAndre Hopkins, who is arguably the best wide receiver in the NFL. And he's getting the praise from him.
And he praised DeAndre right back when he was like, what is DeAndre? A 99? That means he's unguardable? Yeah, that's about right.
That's realistic.
That's realistic.
Yeah.
So speaking of guys that guard for a living, one of the guy you're wearing is freaking pissed.
Yep, he really is. So if you guys watched the Jets-Browns game,
no one does.
Yeah, if you were unfortunate enough to watch it,
you saw this highlight on ESPN.
Yeah, you probably did see the highlight on ESPN. But Jamal Adams laid a big hit on Baker slightly after the throw. You know what happens all the time in the NFL.
It wasn't after the throw. It was directly as his arm went down from throwing. It was down.
Yeah. So slightly after the throw. But anyway, lays a hit on him. Maul hits hard. So he laid Baker out. Got a roughing the passer for it. Then he gets fined by the NFL for it, and he was very upset. I don't have the tweet in front of me, but he basically called the league soft.
Yep.
And said, this is ridiculous. I'm going to play how I want to play no matter what. So he's like, basically, you can keep fining me.
Now, can we talk real quick about the hit itself? Because, and I'm tired of people, and especially even some of our friends, saying, no, that was late. 5 years ago, that wasn't a late hit. We need to stop sitting there, and I get it. The rules are the rules, but some rules are bad, and some rules need to be changed.
Yeah.
And this is one of them where they need to stop being so soft and let these – he didn't hit him with his helmet. He didn't go helmet to helmet. He didn't lunge. He kept his feet, led with his shoulder, and laid him out in a good football hit.
Yep.
Sometimes you got to do that to these quarterbacks to rattle them a little.
Well, the thing,
a guy with moxie and bravado like Baker.
Yeah. It's funny, though, because we have all of these new rules to help protect the QB and to help protect these players. And this is the most we've seen of injured QBs in the league. And I think since the merger, I don't think we've ever seen this before.
Crazy.
After these new rules are in. So are the rules really helping? Are they, or are it is giving offenses easy first downs? Is that because that's what it seems like is happening?
That's what it seems like. And there was a point of emphasis to start calling the running back for lowering his helmet.
Yeah, but that was never going to happen.
And it's not happening. It's not happening. The only time they call players for lowering their crown is on defense. And I'm tired of all this softness of football. I'm not one of those people that's going to go, I'm not going to watch it. No, I'm going to watch it.
No, 100. Yeah.
We're all going to watch it. We're going to be pissed about it, and we're going to complain, and we're going to make our voices heard. And we need other fans to sitting there and stop going, well, what's the rules? Well, the rules suck.
Yeah.
And they need to get changed.
Yeah. I mean, you saw the DeAndre Hopkins tackle. Yeah, he kind of suplexed, but what else do you expect for the man when he's in that position?
That was amazing.
He needs to get him down, so he's going to do whatever he can to get him down. He's not trying to think of hurting the guy. He's just doing what he can.
And also, it was inbounds, and there was no whistle.
Yeah.
You don't want him to spear the guy, blow the whistle, and just body slam him, blow the whistle the moment he wraps him up. That's what we're going to get to.
Yeah.
We're going to get to football in the practice style where it's just wrap up and whistle.
Yeah, exactly. And it's ridiculous. I've hated these roughing the passer calls since like 3 years ago. Not even when they were even that bad. Like since back then. Like it was ridiculous seeing these QBs get hit slightly and getting a call for it.
And it's funny what they blow the whistle on quickly for and what they don't. Like when running backs get the ball and all of a sudden you start seeing, when you put a magnet amongst like the shattered like minerals and all of a sudden you see it start going to magnet like
Yeah.
You see a running back get hit by 3 guys and then everyone on the defense just going whack, whack, whack.
Everyone's killing them.
Clearly not moving forward anymore and going backwards and the guy is dying and all of a sudden like you wait till he's pushed back like Forrest Gump through the end zone. It's like, I guess we'll stop this play.
Yeah. Or when someone's held up by their legs and then someone just comes and destroys them over top. No one apparently cares about this person's knees or ankles. They're might be destroyed there.
It's the refs. They have a lot of pressure. They get a lot of directions, different directions every year. It's not an easy job, and
no,
they do a great job of phasing it out because we do have a lot of people complain about useless stuff.
Yeah,
and and their point of emphasis that I've heard this year is definitely on the holding calls, and we've seen it.
Oh, 100%.
Up so much, but there's still the discrepancy of who they call holding on.
Mm-hmm.
The Browns and Jets had a million holding calls just because they have a history of being undisciplined franchises is not being good. So refs are more apt to throw it on them.
Mm-hmm.
Where the Patriots, your Steelers, sorry, Colton, you guys do get a lot of calls. Some other franchises don't get those calls as often because they have the respect of the coaches and the refs, and they have a history of, well, these are upstanding franchises. They wouldn't do that.
Yeah. My main problem is a lot of these rules, you're really trying to be strict with these when you should be letting the guys play unless it is blatant and egregious. That should be the whole rule. If it's blatant and egregious, then you call it. Other than that, you don't do ticky-tack plays. Ticky-tack plays you have to let play. Otherwise, you're setting a bad precedent that you cannot follow consistently because of human error.
And a gigantic joke to me in all sports, and it's not just exclusive to football, is, well, come playoff time, the refs swallow the whistles a little more. No, just call it that way all year.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't do it for the playoffs. Call it that way all year. You call it that way all year, and James Harden is not an MVP candidate. Sorry, Harden fans. He's not scoring 50 a game. He's a 30 a game guy, maybe 25 a game, but he's not sitting there going into the lane as guys literally run the other way and then getting a whistle because his chin beard scraped a little bit of the net. They call fouls on the net half the time with James Harden. No one's anywhere near him. Or his own guy will pants him and they'll just do a technical foul on the team they're playing tomorrow night. And they start off with James Harden kicking a technical. Like, they need to call the games consistent, not playoffs. Oh, they swallow the whistle. No, swallow your whistle then. Get off the field. Go to sleep.
Yeah, like, I don't know. There's a lot that needs to be done, and unfortunately, it seems like they just keep moving in the wrong direction.
Now, something that could be damning for the NFL, Dave.
Oh, yes. Well, Calvin Johnson came out and said, amongst other things, that he admitted to smoking pot after every game to help with pain. Not a good look for the NFL. But Josh Gordon is probably like, what the hell? And then he also believes he had at least 9 concussions during his career. At least 9 concussions during his career.
This is coming from one of the most physical, big wide receivers who we always perceived as giving the punishment.
Yep.
Hines Ward. I'd like to hear how Hines Ward has had with the hits that he's given and also taken. And on top of that, you've had guys, again, you mentioned Josh Gordon. And you mentioned, we talk about Ricky Williams.
Ricky
Other
Williams.
guys that have just been destroyed for smoking weed.
Yeah, Ricky Williams, who just said, I'm not doing it. I'm smoking weed instead.
And now he's going to start the Freedom Football League. I can't wait I think that starts in 2021. And
does it? I haven't heard anything about it.
It's been hush-hush, but it was on Part of My Take. That's a second plug for you guys, Part of My Take. Barstool. Remember, we love you here. But it was on there, and I believe Part of My Take, everything they say, because they're awesome. But I hope that starts. But back to the whole weed issue, this was one of their fledgling, amazing, one of the best receivers of all time, and one of the guys that everyone said, well, that's the type of guy you want to play like. That's exactly who you want to be like. He just goes to work, does his job, and he did. And he was never really a showboat guy.
Mm-hmm.
This just goes to show the little bit of favoritism there. Because I'd like to actually find out if Andre Johnson, another guy very similar to Calvin Johnson, was like this. And guys like Frank Gore, I would love to hear Frank Gore talk about it later. Because a lot of these guys have a lot of pain.
Yeah.
And they smoke weed, not to get high, to deal with the pain.
Yeah.
A lot of people have said about it.
Yeah. I feel like the NFL should be more lenient on these things, because I mean they're being strict against different people for different, it's really weird. Obviously there seems to be some favoritism. I'm not sure. You can never entirely tell what's going on in an organization, but for him to come out and say these things doesn't look good for the NFL, especially him saying he had at least 9 concussions.
No, that doesn't look good at all. So we'll see what comes out of this. It might just be a one-off story, and then the NFL brushes it up against the rug, because we see these. So these stories come out, we think they're going to be big bombshells.
And then nothing happens.
They end up being nothing, because the bottom line is people smoke weed.
Yeah.
Athletes smoke weed at every single sport and every level. It's going to be legal eventually. Just because it's legal doesn't mean it's going to be legal in the workplace. And people like to forget that sports are a workplace, and they can set their own rules outside of the legality of things. I can't just walk onto the construction sites I work on with a bottle of Jack and a thing of Henny. I mean, I can.
Yeah, you can. Technically can.
Get the hell around, you drunk idiot. Go home. You're fired. Go away. So there's a reason why these rules are in place. So we'll see how they get to it and what happens to this. I don't know if anything big comes out of this, but it might.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't think so. I'm not going to lie to you. I think, we'll be talking about Calvin Johnson more, but I don't think anything big is going to come out of this at all.
I hope he writes a book.
He might.
Seiko book just outing everybody. Or
that'd be
Tekashi 6ix9ine and just out
everyone. Everyone's a part of 9 Trey. All right, so now we're going to move on from the NFL to the NBA. The NBA has decided to pass tougher penalties for tampering, because tampering has been a big thing in this league for probably a very long time.
Let me interject. They had to after last year.
They had to.
I think every big.
But they also basically had to, since they had to for a long time. Okay.
Nothing was worse than last year. People were signed took 10 days. Kyrie Irving was probably signed the moment the season was done with the Nets.
Oh yeah, probably, no doubt. But but they haven't released all the details. At least I haven't seen them yet. You haven't seen them yet, as far as I know.
Adrian Wojnarowski put out some tweets about what it could be.
Yeah. But the possibilities include up to a $10 million fine, suspension of executives, which is interesting.
Yep.
Random team audits of agents and players' communications up to 5 teams per year. Actually taking your phone, that's a little crazy. Taking away draft picks, which we have seen before. That's not uncommon. And voiding contracts, which is it's getting a little spooky out there in the NBA. They are apparently very serious about this.
This is Gestapo level stuff, and for the league, it's supposed to be seen as so progressive.
Well, it's player friendly. It's supposed to be a player friendly league.
But this is what happens when you let the chickens rule the roost. When you sit there and you've had a guy like LeBron who has definitely held the fire to the owners and kind of done what he wanted, and now everyone thinks they can. And not realizing LeBron's a special case.
Yeah.
And now everyone thinks they can do what they want, and it happened last year where everyone kind of did, and the league's kind of back.
Look at what Doc Rivers came out saying about his what happened with Kawhi. Kawhi came in and said, hey, I like Doc. I want to play for Doc. But Steve, your team's not good enough. You need to go get me Paul George. If you don't get me Paul George, I'm to the Lakers. That's it. I'm just going to go build that super team, and no one's going to win.
And he's talked to Paul George already before this, and that was one of the things mentioned, is that how are they going to police? And they want to possibly stop players from talking about it. How are you going to stop players from talking?
You can't. You can't police it. The problem is the NBA is such a different league. It is 5 players on the court. And one player can mean so much to a team. So much to a team. So it's such a different league. So I feel like it kind of has to be a little player friendly. It is very difficult to be like an NFL or it's like you can't do that as much.
No, you can't. And I just want to kind of go. So certain things I'm okay with that they proposed, and certain things that they need to stay the hell away from.
Yes.
The $10 million fine is okay. Hit them in the pocket. It was always
that's fine.
A few thousand. You got to hit these franchises where it hurts.
Yeah.
And they'll go to the owners, and the owners will come down to the execs and say, calm down.
Yeah.
Suspension of executives won't make a difference. No. It won't make a difference at all.
You have someone else do it.
You could suspend the GM, but there's so many bright assistant GMs.
Yeah, exactly.
The director of player personnel that all can make similar decisions.
Yeah.
The GM's just a figurehead. So I don't know if it depends on who they suspend. If they're like, yeah, if the whole front office is gone, bring up your G League front office. Like, yeah, maybe that'll do something.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to happen. Random team audits of agents and players' communication.
That one's...
How is that going to go?
Could you have forced that?
Could you imagine if last year all these went through, and like you said with Kawhi, and Paul George comes over and they go, all right, Steve, I need you to get me Kawhi's phone and computer. I need Paul's phone and computer. I need their agents. How are they going to tell the agents that they
like
have to
that? I don't even think within a company that is legal. I don't think so. I'm pretty sure that isn't. I'm pretty sure that is actually like impeding on someone's human rights. So like, I don't know how they're going to even try to get that through if that is a real possibility.
This goes back to what we talked about the last episode of Cuesta Dos, where we were talking about how leagues kind of take themselves as like legal eagles and kind of sit there and try to be a little bit of law, and they're not law.
No.
So no, that's an overstep. Taking away draft picks, it is what it is. They should start taking away draft picks from teams that tank. Like if you tank and...
I mean, they kind of did. The way they implemented it they kind of did.
But you know what, though? We're even better. If it's a known tank and they could clearly see you're tanking, you automatically pick 30th in the first round.
Yeah, that would be ridiculous.
Not even up for the ping pong ball. You tanked. You decided that you didn't want to play this year. Cool. You get a 30 pick.
Yeah.
Enjoy that, you jerkwads. And the last one, voiding contracts. Antonio Brown would have something to say about that.
You'd have a lot. Actually, let me go check Twitter. You might have more to say about that.
While you do that, Antonio Brown would have a lot to say about that. Voiding contracts is pretty big. That's big. That's, guys negotiate. They work hard on getting these negotiations done. And then if the NBA comes in and is like, we don't like the way this is done. Yeah. This is similar to the Chris Paul situation when he was going to go to the Lakers. And the league owned the Hornets at the time, and they were like, yeah, good job. You did great negotiating on that. Not going to happen. So.
Yeah. But at least that was like a trade.
Yeah.
It wasn't a free agency. Because all of these are free agency. None of these are trades. These are players they're in the market choosing where they want to go with someone else they might want to go with. So it's hard to police that because they are allowed to do what they want in free agency.
I'm kind of disappointed we haven't gotten a LeBron blurb yet because this is one where he should be blurbing about.
Yeah, he really should.
He's
probably the one. Exactly. And he might not be saying anything because he's already saying something to them in private. And maybe he doesn't need to take it public.
LeBron. That's not like – and I'm curious to see what the NBA PA does and the alumni from the NBA, what they're going to have to say. This is going to be an interesting topic. Again, these are only – potential things that are in there.
Yeah.
But some of these are, invasion of privacy on a
some of these, some of these are incredibly realistic, and some of these are just outlandish. Like, I want to know where Woj got them from. Hopefully not from people that were actually thinking about this, because they're a little insane if they were thinking some of these things.
Sorry, everyone. You're hearing my dogs barking in the background. They're going insane over something, but we're just going to trudge through that, all right?
Yeah, why not?
All right. Anyway, so we're going to move on from NBA, and we're going to go right into Team USA and FIBA. Somehow, they're still the number one team after finishing 7th
Yeah.
in the worlds.
I mean, I feel like that's the world. That's FIBA saying, listen, we know you still have all the talent in the world. That you can be number one at any time.
But what's the point of ranking if it's not off of merit?
I know.
They didn't get it done.
Oh, I know. I understand that completely. But I feel like it was more of a generous thing. Because, I mean, imagine if we weren't ranked number one and we just built a redeem team. Like, players all of a sudden said, okay, we can't have this. And they just came out and built a redeem team and just made the FIBA a laughing stock for that year.
I feel like that might happen anyway
Yep.
Because Steph Curry came out and basically said to Rachel Nichols this past Wednesday that he is playing in the Olympics. He has 2 world championships in the FIBA. He's never done it in the Olympics. He's coming. With him coming, is that going to bring the other superstars? Are we going to see?
It's going to bring more people.
Kyrie come back. Now, what does this do for guys like Kemba, Donovan Mitchell, Middleton, who I'm not even talking about Joe Harris and the other fringe guys, but those 3 guys are actual superstars in the NBA. Mm-hmm. Is this going to push them off the team?
We'll see. We'll see. They got to go out and play as well. I mean, if they want to. Yet again, it's if they want to. So if they don't want to do the Olympics because they did the FIBA and they're like, I don't feel like playing world ball right now, so they can decide not to. I mean, I feel like those guys may still make it. Depends on who wants to go out with Steph. But Steph already saying, I want to be there is a big jump for Team USA. Like, that is great already.
Now, here's a question that we didn't ponder. Was it a mistake for Melo not to participate?
Yes, I fully believe. The man has experience in that game already. I still think he deserves to be on an NBA team.
Let's go.
I do. Brooklyn, so, like, he has experience playing this type of ball. I'm pretty sure almost no one on FIBA had experience playing this type of ball before.
The only one was, I think, Harrison Barnes was the only veteran that came back.
Exactly. So why wouldn't you want another veteran president to calm the guys down and be like, hey, we know what we have to do here. I can help you with this, and we can get this done. Now, I don't get it.
Here's the real question. Is FIBA and the NBA going to be okay with Steph Curry talking to other players to go play in the Olympics? That's tampering.
Yeah, that's a good question. We don't know. We have no idea.
It's a big deal. But in reality, so with Steph making this announcement, do you think he's already talked to the other superstars and kind of said, we can't have this happen again? Because I really feel like this already brings Clay and Draymond on board. I feel like they're kind of a package deal. They're really good buddies. Clay's going to be healthy. I wonder if Durant is going to be able to come back. My mother, Adele, is in the background on the screen there. Say, hi, Mom. I don't think she could hear, but, you know, this is what happens. You have dogs barking in the background. You have my mom walking through in the background. This is fantastic. Welcome to YouTube, everybody.
Yeah.
But I think that this is just going to open up the floodgates for the superstars, and we're going to see another Redeem team come back.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he talked to everyone yet, but he's probably talked to a few, and he decided, yeah, let's go do this.
I think that was kind of the announcement to everyone, like, yeah, we're done here. We're done messing around. We gave the other guys a chance. You didn't do it. Let's go. Now, last 2 guys that I want to talk about potential Team USA stuff. Where was CJ McCollum and Damian Lillard?
They didn't want to. CJ McCollum spoke out about it a bunch of times, and I can't remember what he said. It was a while ago, so I can't remember. But, yeah, he spoke out about it a bunch of times. And I'm pretty sure it was mainly about, you know, the possibility of injury. And, I mean, like, who wants to go out there and get injured, not have a chance at the NBA championship? I mean, the Trailblazers have been a good team for a good amount of time. And they can't get it done because, you know, they have the Warriors out there. They have big powerhouse teams that seem to beat them every time. So why would you want to go get injured and ruin the chance that you may have that is slowly weaning away as time goes on?
I just want to see Stephon Urkel go out there and wear United States and go win.
He does look like Stephon Urkel. I didn't even think of it.
Stephon Urkel.
He is.
All right, last but not least topic. We flew through some topics today. We did pretty well, Dave.
Yeah.
Last topic pisses me off to no end because we discussed how South Carolina and California already passed the NCAA bill for players to get paid off their likeness.
Yes.
South Carolina introducing a very similar, if not the exact same one. Mm-hmm. And we talked last week how this is the way to go. This is how we're going to get collegiate payers paid.
Mm-hmm.
And then New York leading the charge in stupidity. Yay, I'm in New York. I'm in Poughkeepsie. We are awesome in how dumb we are. New York decides to let out a bill saying that it is going to force the colleges to pay student athletes directly and equally. There's a lot of problems with this. Let's break it down first of all.
Yeah, break it down because I didn't look into this too much.
Wait, I'm breaking it down. There wasn't too much detail on it.
Mm-hmm.
But the way it's going to go down makes it completely wrong. First of all, you're going to make the student body subsidize athletes, number one, which if you're not an athlete, you should not be paying for the athletes to come on, especially the full scholarship ones.
Mm-hmm.
That's number one.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, the equal pay thing is also ridiculous.
Yeah, you can't
I ran track and cross country at Marist College. I can tell you we didn't generate a damn bit of revenue for Marist College. So it's unfair to do that because you'll have superstars in football.
I mean, your women's basketball probably generated the most, right? Because that's your biggest team.
Without a doubt.
So they should get the more money.
And then on top of that, tuition will skyrocket as an excuse for all schools going, well, we have to pay the athletes now. So instead of it being $45,000 a year, pay 70. And the bigger schools are already doing 60, 90.
Yeah, no, that is a terrible idea. Mainly because, like we said before, like we said last week, likeness makes sense because it lets the person be able to get anything off of what they have, what they performed in, what they can do.
Yep.
It makes sense. But to make the school pay it, I want someone to try to draw out the logistics of having the school pay every single student athlete in any way. Try to draw that out. Please try to draw that out. And then tell me why. Why can't the clubs get paid that way? Why can't some of the people that perform in different things that are not technically sports but have a lot to go into them can't get paid in any way? Please try to rationalize that to these people in those colleges. I dare you to, because you're not going to have a good time with it.
And the next trickle would be, and I guarantee, especially in New York State, well, we're going to ask the government for some more grants. Okay, so now you're going to ask the taxpayers.
Yeah, you're legitimate. I mean, colleges already find every single reason to raise tuition.
Mm-hmm.
Every single little reason to raise tuition, and then ask you for more money after you graduate from there.
Yep.
So, you're going to give them more reason to ask for more tuition. And then you're going to tell them, I just don't get how you're going to try to tell these colleges to pay these students like this. Because what are you going to pay them? Like, how much are you really going to pay them? Like, how many people are going to be playing on these sports? How are you going to, dole these out equally? Like, there's so much that goes into this that you would need years upon years upon years to think of this. And then the system probably already changed at that point. So they need to scrap that and then think about it again. Like, I don't get it.
As New York goes, they don't think. And this is the one time I have to say, New York, follow California. Do what California does.
Follow California. California did that perfectly.
Yep.
Give them likeness. Give them the ability to control their own person and their own manner of marketing. Everyone should have that.
Yep.
It only makes sense.
Yeah, so here's to hoping that the New York legislature is smart enough to squash that, which I don't think they are because they're actually pretty stupid up in Albany. So here's to hoping, keeping our fingers crossed.
I hope.
Hopefully someone sees this and listen, talk to your state senator, your state assemblyman. If you're in New York, send letters.
Yeah, there needs to be enough pushback. Yeah, there needs to be enough pushback for it not to happen. Like, I want college athletes to get paid, but you need to get paid the right way. Like, you can't just get money that is not doled out correctly.
Insane. But all right, with that, this first ever recorded video episode.
Yeah, a lot happened. Special guest appearances by a lot of people.
We had my dogs in the background. We had my lovely mother walking through the back over there by David. For those listening, go to YouTube so you can watch all the fun festivities. But again, this is Cuesta Dos. I am Alex Cuesta. That is David Cuesta. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at @A_Cuesta30. Find David on Twitter at dcuesta308, Instagram at Questacola. I think that's what it is. You don't even know. I'm not even asking it.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Find Sports Opinions on Twitter at SportsOpinion30, Instagram SportsOpinions30. Visit the Facebook page, and wherever you're listening or watching, hello everybody, watching this, give it a good review, give it a like, give it a share, let people know, and then also go listen to Sports Opinions Podcast proper, the Personal Foul Podcast with your host Colton Gesser, another great guest, and the Playbook with Rob and Joe. You'll love them all. and
Yes.
spread the word. David, do you have anything else to say?
I just say, please listen. Please enjoy this, because this is going to be a highlight of my day today, because I now have to go watch the Jets get dismantled. So I may be crying later. So this is the highlight.
All right. With that, we are going to sign off. So long, everybody. Have a good one.